Hello everyone, I'm Holly Thomas, a tattoo artist in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I'm gonna show you how to draw a Japanese maple leaf. Come on. As long as you have a pencil, an eraser, you can draw these. I think in this area, I'll put my first one. So the first step is just to draw a straight line. I'm gonna have it facing down, so this is gonna be the top of the leaf. This will be the stem here. That's a good length. Then draw another line across it. So you have this simple cross shape. Draw another line through it. So look at the distance between these two lines and draw a line between it, and then the same over here. And then draw another line this way. So you kind of have this star shape. Now you just need to draw an oval over each of these lines. And then we're going to do the same for the rest of them. It doesn't have to be perfect. These are a little smaller. And then for the stem, just draw a line across like this and make a triangle shape. I draw the circle last so I can choose where I want it, but you're going to draw a circle in the middle of the cross. I like to bring it up a little bit so it's not entirely where the center is, but you can find your own way and your own style, however you like for it to look. So all I've done so far is use straight lines, ovals, and a circle. Now from here, I'm going to start with this top part. Are these called petals, like for leaf? Is this like a petal of a leaf? I don't know. But we're basically going to point now. Get a point. So I start from where the circle is, and you give it this kind of shape. I tend to do my drawings a little more open and bubbly, because I think when it's tattooed, it's just going to look more bold and you have more room for color. But black and gray is cool too. But you see the shape? All I did was really point the oval. So I start with this top one and now I'm going to work behind it. And you can kind of change the center of it if you want. Like you see how this line is kind of going that direction, but I kind of want to point these petals, I guess, closer inward. But if you want to just go follow this center line, you can too. If you want to adjust any directions, you can do that here. I draw this center circle not for it to look like a butthole. When I shade this, I'm just going to shade in this center part. And I figured since it's fall that these would be fun to do. They're really simple once you get the hang of it. So from here, you can get out a darker pencil and finalize the shape. So I really like where this is kind of laid out. So now I'm just going to go put those shapes in. I think a half one here would look good to give it kind of a flow that it's falling. A trick to get them to be the same length is to measure with a pencil and put the tip of your pencil at one end and then mark with your finger. That's a little short. So I have the tip of the pencil here and then I mark with my finger at this end. Now you can take it, put your finger here, and then just lift up to mark that. So now this length is the same as this. So we're gonna draw our first line here. Now since this one is a half of one, we're not gonna do a cross here. We're just gonna find the center here, which is about here, and then draw up. Now you can also mark the center of this one to the tip of this if you really want to be OCD and get it just right. But you don't have to. You can find whatever's fun. I know when you're learning to draw, it can be very frustrating. So if you get frustrated, just take a break. I'll go distract my mind with something else and then come back to it. All right, so here is the skeleton for our second leaf. So now we're going to do our ovals again. Oval, 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 oval. And this is a smaller one. The oval closest to the stem is gonna be your shorter one. For the stem, I just do a simple kind of triangle shape. And as you can see, it's already starting to take form. After I do the ovals, then I do my center circle. And like I said, I usually kind of raise it up a little bit towards the point instead of just completely center. So now we have our center circle. I think that's about a circle. Now again, start with the top here. The second one next to the top, I bring the line usually up a little bit this way. But I do keep the third one pretty centered. There we go. So the only petal of the leaf, is it a petal leaf? I don't know. The only one I really move off of the first line is the one closest to the top. All right, I think that overall shape looks pretty nice. So I'm gonna finalize it with my darker pencil now. So I think I kind of made this one too long. I'm gonna just, that looks a little better. This one's probably too long too. You should do things in odd numbers when you're doing, like, say, cherry blossoms, maple leaves. You want to do them in odd numbers. You don't want to do even numbers. Odd numbers are considered good luck, and if you do even numbers of things, it's considered bad luck. But artistically, odd numbers make a better composition. It just ends up looking better. So now I'm gonna do another full-sized leaf and then show you how to add a fold. So if this part's folding over, so I have this one pointing this way, this one's going this way. So I think I'm gonna have the third one kind of going down, but not entirely down. I think that will look nice, like this direction. So let's measure our distance. Got it. So draw your straight line. Now I'm gonna find the center, which is about here. Do another line. Look between these 2 points and find the center. Now I'm gonna draw my ovals. I'm gonna try to get these top 3 a little longer, and then they get smaller the closer to the stem you get. And then small ones for the bottom. And then draw a little triangle thing. And then draw the center circle. Alright, so I'm gonna really quickly draw these in. Alrighty. Feel free to pause this if I'm going too fast. If you can't do it this fast, don't get frustrated. Alright, so I'm gonna fold this part over. Draw the shape of it first, and then draw a straight line over where you want it to fold. And then this shape here, you're gonna mimic on that side of the line. And then erase. See how that looks nice? Don't draw the full shape and then add it here. It doesn't look as nice, and it doesn't make sense. So I'll do it again over here. I think that would look good. So draw your straight line, mimic this shape on the other side, and then erase. See how that just looks nice? This is more of an advanced kind of thing to do, so definitely just practice a regular one first. Alright, so we're gonna finalize our shape. You see how the initial red line kind of went this way? I just moved it a little bit. So some people, you can put in these guys. It looks more bold without them on a tattoo, but drawn it looks nice. It looks nice. Let's finalize these. Simple does not mean easy. It looks nice. I mean, I don't hate it, but this is how it looks more open. Once you get color and shading in there, I think this is just more busy. I have the philosophy that if you can live without it, then do so. So if you don't need these lines, then leave them out. Because in 20 years, this tattoo is gonna look a lot better than this. the ink naturally expands under the skin over the first several years a tattoo is applied. It's just a natural process. That's why tattooers, some will refuse to do lettering too small because it's going to blob up. So I actually have started to line tattoos a little thinner to account for the settling. I like to line it about a medium line weight, so that in 3 years it's like the perfect size. So I always like to think ahead. I just like to give my clients a good product that I stand behind. I don't like to do tattoos that you're gonna hate me for doing in 10 years. I like my tattoos to stand the test of time. But yeah, for this is like my first longer video I've made. Yeah, I'm trying to fight against the Dunning-Kruger effect, which basically says that we hear the most from people who know the least, because the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. So people like me who have been in this for decades, we feel like we don't know enough to be an expert on it. So we don't make the videos. We don't share what we know. Obviously, gatekeeping is over. People are learning things on YouTube. That's a good thing. Like, the sharing knowledge is a good thing. Knowledge is power, right? That's how you draw a Japanese maple leaf. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. If I should, like, show my face, if I should show my feet, I don't know. Let me know if you'd like to see more drawing tutorials, if you'd like to see how to paint this. I'm pretty open to sharing what I know. However little or much I do know, I'm pretty open these days, because I think it makes for better art out there. If you'd like to see videos on how to sketch with a paintbrush, I can do that too, but it's a little more advanced, so I just wanted to start with simple supplies that you already have. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of crazy art supplies. I've spent thousands of dollars in art supplies, and I don't really use most of them, so. I'm in my saving money era. Sorry for saying era. And yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah. Okay, bye.